You know, they say a dog is a man's best friend, but for me, my military working dog, Rex, was more than that. He was my partner, my shadow, my protector, and the reason I'm even alive today. He took a bullet for me, literally. Can you imagine the bond you must have with an animal for them to willingly step in front of a gun for you? Tell me, have you ever experienced a loyalty so profound it moved you to tears? Because that's what Rex did for me, and I still tear up thinking about it. Was I wrong to push so hard to save him, even when everyone said it was a lost cause? I still grapple with that question sometimes. It all started back when I first joined the K9 unit. I was fresh out of basic training, full of bravado and a healthy dose of naivete, thinking I knew everything there was to know about dogs. Boy, was I wrong. My first assignment was with Rex, a German shepherd with eyes that saw right through you and a demeanor that screamed, "Don't mess with me." He was already a seasoned veteran, a few years older than me, and had seen more combat than I could ever imagine. Our first meeting was tense. I walked into the kennel, and he was there, a magnificent beast with powerful muscles and an intense gaze. He sniffed me warily, his tail giving a single, tentative wag before he settled back down, watching my every move. I offered him a treat, and he took it gently, but those eyes never left me. It wasn't love at first sight, not for him anyway. It was more like a mutual assessment, a quiet understanding that we were stuck with each other, for better or worse. My trainer, Sergeant Miller, a grizzled old timer with a heart of gold hidden beneath a tough exterior, just chuckled. "He's sizing you up, kid. He'll let you know if you're worthy." Over the next few weeks, we began our training. It was rigorous, demanding, and pushed both of us to our limits. We learned to track, to detect explosives, to perform controlled aggression, and, most importantly, to trust each other implicitly. I learned to read Rex's subtle cues, the twitch of an ear, the tilt of his head, the way his fur bristled when he sensed danger. He, in turn, learned to respond to my commands with lightning speed and unwavering precision. We spent countless hours together, running obstacle courses, navigating simulated combat zones, and just being in each other's presence. I'd talk to him, tell him about my day, even my fears, and he'd just listen, his big brown eyes fixed on mine, as if he understood every word. He had a playful side, too, which would often surprise me. After a long day of training, he'd sometimes nudge my hand with his wet nose, begging for a game of fetch, or flop onto his back, wiggling for a belly rub. Those were the moments that truly forged our bond, transforming us from mere partners into something much deeper. He wasn't just a tool for the mission. He was a living, breathing being with his own personality, his own quirks, and a loyalty that I was only just beginning to comprehend. Our first deployment together was to Afghanistan. The desert landscape was harsh and unforgiving, the air thick with dust and the ever-present threat of danger. Rex was in his element. He was a natural, his senses heightened, his focus absolute. He'd sniff out hidden ID with an uncanny accuracy that saved countless lives, including my own on more than one occasion. We were always together, a team moving as one. I relied on him for his keen senses, and he relied on me for commands, for protection, and for those moments of quiet reassurance when the world around us felt like it was tearing itself apart. There were moments of pure terror, moments where I thought we wouldn't make it out alive. One time we were on patrol, and Rex suddenly stopped dead in his tracks, his hackles raised, a low growl rumbling in his chest. I knew instantly what it meant. There was an IED buried in the path ahead. I gave the command to clear the area, and Rex stood firm, a living warning sign until the bomb disposal unit could safely disarm it. That day, he saved my entire squad. It wasn't just my life he was protecting, it was everyone's. He was more than a dog, he was a guardian angel with 4 paws. The bond between us deepened with every mission, every close call, every quiet moment shared under the vast, star-filled Afghan sky. He was my confidante, my silent therapist, and the one constant in a world that was constantly shifting and unpredictable. I would share my MRE with him, splitting my meager rations so he could have a taste of something different, and he'd always respond with a grateful lick to my hand. We developed our own unspoken language, a series of subtle gestures and glances that conveyed more than words ever could. It was an unbreakable bond, forged in the crucible of war, tempered by shared experiences and a mutual reliance that transcended the species barrier. So that's the situation I was in, an ordinary soldier with an extraordinary dog, facing unimaginable dangers every single day. And then came that fateful day, the one that changed everything. We were on a routine patrol, sweeping a village suspected of harboring insurgents. The sun beat down relentlessly, baking the dusty ground, and the air hung heavy with a sense of unease. Rex was leading the way, his nose to the ground, meticulously checking every inch of the path ahead. I was right behind him, my rifle at the ready, my senses on high alert. Suddenly, a crack of a rifle echoed through the air, followed by another, and then a flurry of gunfire. We were ambushed. Chaos erupted. My squad scattered, taking cover behind mud brick walls and overturned market stalls. I instinctively dropped to one knee, pulling Rex close, trying to shield him as bullets whizzed past us. In the confusion, I heard a shout, "Grenade," and saw the dark, cylindrical object arc through the air, landing dangerously close to my position. Time seemed to slow down. I knew, in that split second, that I was dead. There was no time to react, no time to move, no time to even think. But then, something incredible happened. Before I could even process the thought, Rex, without any command from me, without a moment's hesitation, threw himself in front of me. He shielded my body with his own, letting out a sharp bark as the grenade detonated. The force of the blast threw me backward, knocking the wind out of me. My ears rang, and a cloud of dust and debris enveloped us. For a terrifying moment, I couldn't see anything, couldn't hear anything except a dull ringing. When the dust began to settle, I pushed myself up, my body aching, my mind screaming, and then I saw him. Rex was lying on the ground, whimpering softly, his body riddled with shrapnel. He was bleeding profusely, and a large, ugly wound marred his side. My heart stopped. My best friend, my partner, the dog who had saved my life countless times, had just sacrificed himself for me. I crawled to him, tears streaming down my face, desperately trying to assess the damage. He looked up at me, his eyes clouded with pain, but there was still that spark of unwavering loyalty. He licked my hand weakly, a silent reassurance that he was still fighting. My squadmates, who had managed to suppress the ambushers, rushed to our aid. They helped me get Rex to the nearest field hospital, a makeshift tent buzzing with activity. The vets worked tirelessly, their faces grim, their movements swift and precise. It was touch and go for a long time. They pulled out fragments of shrapnel, stitched up his wounds, and pumped him full of fluids and pain medication. I sat beside him the entire time, holding his paw, whispering words of encouragement, praying to every deity I could think of. The doctor eventually came out, his face etched with fatigue. He told me Rex had lost a lot of blood, that his injuries were severe, and that even if he survived, he would likely never be able to work again. He might even lose a leg, the thought crushed me. Rex, the proud, powerful military working dog, reduced to a shadow of his former self. But I refused to give up on him. He had never given up on me. He took a bullet for me, and I would move heaven and earth to save him. The military's protocol in such cases was often euthanasia for dogs that couldn't return to duty. It was a harsh reality, a cost-effective solution, but I couldn't accept it. Not for Rex. He deserved a chance, a life beyond the battlefield, a retirement filled with comfort and love. I started pulling strings, calling every contact I had, pleading with every officer who would listen. I wrote letters, made phone calls, even threatened to go public with the story if they didn't give Rex a fighting chance. It was an uphill battle, a bureaucratic nightmare, but I was determined. I advocated for him with every fiber of my being, recounting his bravery, his countless acts of heroism, his unwavering loyalty. I reminded them of all the lives he had saved, including my own. My persistence paid off. Eventually, after weeks of relentless fighting, I secured a medical evacuation for Rex to a specialized veterinary hospital back in the States. The journey was long and arduous, but he made it. Back home, Rex underwent multiple surgeries and intensive physical therapy. His recovery was slow, painful, but he was a fighter. He pushed through the pain day after day with a determination that mirrored his spirit on the battlefield. I was there for every step of it, cheering him on, celebrating every small victory. The military, seeing my unwavering dedication and Rex's incredible resilience, made an exception. They officially retired him from service and granted me permission to adopt him. It was a moment of pure, unadulterated joy. Rex was finally mine, not just my partner, but my companion for life. He eventually recovered, though he walked with a slight limp and carried the scars of his bravery proudly. He never regained full mobility in one of his hind legs, but it didn't slow him down. He adapted, he adjusted, and he continued to live life with the same joyous spirit that had always defined him. We spent our days in peaceful retirement, long walks in the park, endless games of fetch, and quiet evenings curled up on the couch. He loved chasing squirrels, barking at the mailman, and getting belly rubs from every stranger we met. His story became a local legend, a testament to the unbreakable bond between a soldier and his dog. People would stop us on the street, recognizing him from news articles, and shower him with praise and affection. He became a symbol of courage, loyalty, and the incredible sacrifices made by our four-legged heroes. Rex lived a long and happy life, full of love and comfort, a stark contrast to the dangers he had faced in his youth. Every day with him was a gift, a constant reminder of his selfless act, his unwavering devotion. He was more than a pet. He was family, a part of my soul. His memory will forever be etched in my heart, a testament to the most profound loyalty I have ever known. Losing him when his time finally came was one of the hardest things I've ever had to endure. But even in his passing, he left me with a profound lesson about love, sacrifice, and the incredible capacity for connection that exists between humans and animals. He taught me what it truly means to be selfless, to protect those you love, no matter the cost. He was my hero, my guardian angel, and my best friend, and I am eternally grateful for every single moment we shared. So, that's my story, the story of Rex, the dog who took a bullet for me. It's a story I hope reminds you of the incredible loyalty and love that animals can offer, and the profound impact they can have on our lives. Remember to appreciate the loyal companions in your own life, because their love is truly a precious gift. Like this video if you were on my side. if you believe in fighting for those who can't fight for themselves. Subscribe for more stories like this, stories of bravery, resilience, and the unbreakable bonds that define us. And please, share your final thoughts on this whole mess in the comments section below. I'll see you all in the next story.